Hey guys, welcome to episode 4 of the Arken Cast. This week's topics are my top 5 favorite videos of this month, security breach, 5 Nights at Freddy's security breach, and questions submitted by you. Alright, let's get into this week's episode. Alright, so in security breach news, Steel Wolf Studios just released news that they are doing an upcoming patch, preview February 2022. This was published January 25th, 2022. It is currently the 29th. So apparently when people are playing security breach, 5 Nights at Freddy's security breach, there was a lot of bugs and glitches. People would notice that the animatronics, especially Chica, Roxanne, and Montgomery Gator, would literally glitch through walls, which I don't think was supposed to happen. But I have it pulled up right here. It says, "Hey everyone, Ray McCaffrey here with a quick update on what's been going on over here at Steel Wool. Specifically details about our first major patch and what you can expect when it's released in early mid-February. When we were evaluating what changes need to be made, we looked at 2 categories. Serious bugs that slip through the cracks for launch, and the quality of life improvements we've seen the community rally behind. We'll be generating a comprehensive list of changes for the patch notes when it's ready. But in the spirit of transparency, we'd like to give everyone a heads up." So it says that the first category of bug fixes is probably going to be coming to PlayStation 4. It says serious performance and visual fixes for all platforms, with the most notable improvements appearing on the PlayStation 4. Not all of the issues have been addressed, like hitches that occur outside the moment gameplay between attractions. Sorry, I lost my place where I was. But we think you'll be happy with the steps we've taken towards an overall better experience. We've made changes to jump scare functionality to prevent issues like getting jump scared during the game's credits and characters disappearing during a jump scare. We fixed issues with the world improperly loading and unloading. The most egregious example we fixed is the possibility of unloading the entire world when entering Freddy. I didn't experience that while playing. Additionally, we fixed edge case bugs like missions not triggering if a specific series of events occur in a specific order, getting out of bounds under certain conditions, and certain exploits. This is all in parentheses. Get your fun in while you can. So it sounds like they fixed it where you cannot go out of bounds unless the game somehow glitches and allows you to. The second category is quality of life improvements. We've added a single save station in the atrium for overtime, allowing you to save between endgame events. Our goal was to make unlocking certain endings more difficult. We succeeded, but at the expense of the fun. We hope more folks pursue the game's endings with these improvements. So what it sounds like is they've made the endings like a lot more difficult, and you have to do a lot more in order to complete them. I'm going to assume that's probably talking about the fact of either choosing whether you want to stay or leave. These are spoilers for anyone who hasn't played the game. So if you haven't, I would click off of this podcast, go play it, and then come back. We've extended the skip cinema system to include cinematic moments like the sun and moon transformation sequence in the daycare. That's cool. We've looked at ways to better telegraph goals and paths forward. For example, the colors of the cables in the daycare now use the same color system that we use in parts and service, so that it's a little easier to get through that sequence. that's awesome. Because I know I was watching a lot of people play and they're like, these don't match the parts and service stuff at all, so it's a lot harder to work with. We've done a first pass of reducing the game's overall size on disk. That's a nice feature, because if I remember correctly, reading Security Breach was a big file. I think I read it was like 75 gigabytes, which I was like, holy shit. First off, we also made some overall changes to things like the burn trap, boss battle, and hiding spots. And again, these are high-level descriptions. The patch notes will be more granular. We've got a final version of the patch in test now, and so far it looks promising. We are going to be taking our time to make sure it's solid, which is why you won't see it released for a bit. Thanks for taking the time to read this, and we'll keep everyone up to date with any other plans / changes you should know about. Ray McCaffrey, executive producer. So, I'm assuming that people are going to be expecting a lot to sort of change. It sounds like they're fixing the glitches, all the bugs in the game. And I started playing it, but I think I'm going to wait until they fix the patches, because for some reason my game just glitched out horribly when I was doing it. And in other updates, I see that the DLC is going to be coming out for Security Breach in the next couple of months, which I'm pretty excited for. There's some areas which are closed off in the game, and I think that's due to the fact that those are DLC areas. So we'll have to see what happens with those, because for all I know, or from what I know anyway, it seems like they're going to be doing a lot the next couple of years going forward and creating a lot more areas for Security Breach. And a lot of people I've noticed get turned off by the fact that it says Five Nights at Freddy's, but I can 100% guarantee you it is not like regular Five Nights at Freddy's games. It is 100% different. It is, as far as I know, the first official 3D modeled Five Nights at Freddy's game that's not like you're stuck in an office watching the doors. They still have that aspect in the game, but it's way different now. And the graphics look amazing. Like, I love the 80s sort of retro theme of the whole mall, and just the sort of look of all the animatronics. It just looks amazing. If you want to check out more information on what the Security Breach patch and about any DLC, there's a YouTuber named Dawko that does a full sort of in-depth look on the patch and what the DLC is going to be. I'll leave a link to that down in the description for anyone who's watching on YouTube. And for anyone on Spotify listening or on Anchor.fm, just go to YouTube and search Dawko Security Breach patch, and it will probably pop up. Alright, so that's going to do it for this topic, and we're going to do a quick little ad break, and then we'll be right into our next topic. Topic 2 of this week's podcast is top 10 favorite YouTube videos of this month. Because I haven't done one of these in a while, I figured I'd do top 10 videos of this month. So up first, we have, I think it came out just the other day. We have Never Give J Slat a Gun. It's, I can't remember what it's called, but it's a game where you basically try to kill the other person with the sniper. If you get it wrong, you have to start all over because you the sniper shot a civilian. I would highly recommend it. It's one of those videos that's really fun because you kind of do some deception and trick people into shooting the wrong character. So up next, we have the hardest game we've ever played. This is where Jay Schlatt and a bunch of his friends literally just play giant Jenga, and the video's goofy as all shit. Like, it's so funny to watch. Another one that's a bit more of a serious one. By the way, if you're on YouTube, I'll put description links. But if you're on Spotify or Anchor.fm, just search Ludwig, Jay Schlatt Live, JS. I probably am going to get this wrong. If I don't, it's JSCHLATT Live. And that's who you would look for that video, the hardest game we've ever played. And then another one in my top 10 is I Should Not Have Opened a P.O. Box. It's a hilarious video. I absolutely love his content. All right, so next up we have I Spent a Day with Wilbur Soot. This is a video with Anthony Padilla featuring Wilbur Soot, and he does a whole interview with him. I thought it was very interesting, so I was like, yeah, I'll put this on my top 10, why not? He talks to him about the whole how he started and his band, and how sometimes being famous and having a bunch of followers is not necessarily a great thing, but it's a curse, and it really is like a good video. I think it came out, I don't remember. Anthony Padilla. Yeah, 2 days ago it came out. So I'm filming this on the 29th. It came out on the 27th. So that video by far is really good. And it kind of gives you a deeper dive into Wilbur Soot before he became popular. So I would highly recommend checking it out. It's a really good video. All right, so next up we have This Game Is Way Too Fun. This is a Jacksepticeye video. He plays a game called Angerfoot, and it's basically a game where you just go around and knock people out with your foot. You unlock a gun, a bunch of different things. And I just started watching it today. I haven't finished it. Almost done with it, but I would highly recommend it. It's a really good video. And next up, probably my favorite one that I saw, I think it was yesterday I watched it. I replaced fast food burgers with Wagyu beef. So this is a Nick Dio Giovanni video. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but he basically went to different fast food restaurants and he asked them, hey, on the Big Mac, can you give me no beef? Hey, on a regular Wendy's burger. In my opinion, I actually put down in a comments section, hey, you should totally do Wagyu beef on a Baconator. I think that would be delicious. And he went to Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King, and he asked them for a Baconator. No, not Baconator. I am craving a Baconator so badly right now. He asked for a regular McDonald's Big Mac, a Whopper, and a Wendy's hamburger. But he said hold the beef on all of them, and he put big old slabs of Wagyu beef on it. The look of those sandwiches and those burgers looked so good. I was like, oh, if only I could afford Wagyu beef. It's like, that just looks so good. I would highly recommend it. If you have like a sort of craving for fast food, that is a go-to video. It came out January 26, 2022. And yeah, I literally said in all caps, Nick, you have to try Wagyu with the Baconator. And I just was like, I really, really want to see him do that. Nick Giovanni does like food videos. He's done like a whole bunch of different ones. My favorite one that I've seen so far, I think it was recently I saw it, is carbonated fruit. And the other one he does is, I'm probably gonna butcher this really badly, but Tonkosu Miso Ramen. His food videos are just so good. What's the other one that I just recently saw? Oh, Black Truffle Burger, which sounds delicious. All right, so up next, I think we're on, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're on number 6. Okay. Up next is Three Scary Games, number 82, with Markiplier. He did, I think it was called Dog. Hold on. Scary Games, number 82. Okay. So he did. I don't want to get in trouble for playing that. So we did Doghouse 2, Experiment Groceries, and After School. I think my next video is going to be probably Experiment Groceries. That sounds really cool. All of them are on itch.io, so if you want to go check them out, links below, as always. And I really like Markiplier's videos because he gets scared of stuff, and then he's like, I'm not scared, you shouldn't be scared. Why am I all of a sudden scared? It's like, his stuff is so funny. I don't know why I full screen that. I also don't know why it's in theater mode. There we go. Alright, so up, where are we on? 7? Yeah. So number 7 is Scariest Videos on the Internet. This is another Jacksepticeye video. He just basically goes through a bunch of really creepy videos. If you want to watch that video, link below. I'm going to give credits to all of these because I don't own the rights to them. And yeah, I feel like that's a pretty fair thing to do. I also just recently, I know it's an older video, but I watched Logan Paul The Day I Almost Died, where he ate the Pocky One Chip. You wouldn't catch me doing that, ever, because I do not wish to die from that at all. Okay, so where... I gotta scroll down. It's somewhere on my list. I'm not gonna go through and actually like look for it, but another honorable mention is Dank Pods, the Sony XB1000s. I love his videos because they're so funny. It's just an Australian guy in his studio doing videos where he's making fun of tech, and it's great. By far one of my favorite videos. Alright, so next up, we have Horchata Solo YouTube Shorts. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I think I wrote that down correct. Might not have, but let's see. I may actually have that written down wrong, but I have no clue. I have way too many videos on my YouTube channel. Like, in my history, I have so many. But yeah, his like short sort of 60-second clips are really funny. There's sort of like some very relatable content there where it'll talk about, like, have you ever had this one kid that would like show up to your table during lunch, have like no problem, don't even know the kid at all, and then he'll be like, say something to the teacher and try to get you in trouble. And yeah, his stuff is really good. And next up is another J Schlatt video, which is I should not have opened a P.O. box. I said this earlier, but hilarious video. He gets some very interesting things in this video. Again, if you're watching this on YouTube, links all down in the description below. And last but not least is Superstar by CG5. It's not technically a video, it's more of an animation, but I wanted to give a shout out to it because it's one of my favorite songs right now. It's so well done, and huge props to CG5 for creating a Security Breach song that doesn't sound like a dying record. Because a lot of the other ones are like, yeah, this is good, yeah. But his is like actually really catchy, and I really like it. I've listened to some of his other songs is called Tommy in it. He's got Life by the Sea featuring Tubbo. And then there's Muffin, I See a Dreamer. There's like a bunch of different ones. But if you want to check out any of those, links down below. So if you're listening to this on Anchor.fm or over on Spotify, then go to my YouTube channel, just search ZVNX, and then you will find the video of the podcast, and then just look down below and it has all the links to what I'm talking about. And that's going to do it for top 10. All right, on to the next segment. So, some people don't know this about me, but I struggle with a diagnosis called ADHD. It can sometimes affect how my brain reacts to things. And a good example of that is somebody who may have, let's say, they work on a video, they work really hard on it, and they're like, yes, great, I'm going to upload this and everything. I'm one of those type of people that will literally redo a video at least 12 times before I feel like I should upload it and get it ready to go. Because having ADHD, your brain is kind of different, wired differently, and a lot of people sort of can't really tell somebody has ADHD unless they watch sort of how that person acts or how that person behaves. Because the thing about having ADHD with also having like anxiety is sometimes those two mix and it causes you a lot of stress. I know when I first started YouTube, the whole having ADHD and having a lot of anxiety at the time, because I got horribly bullied in elementary school, would basically make it so that my brain wouldn't function correctly. And when I was uploading videos, I wouldn't really think before I upload certain ones, and they wouldn't be good. Like, they would absolutely be garbage because I just was like, yep, there we go, awesome. And a big thing about having ADHD is the fact that, for instance, somebody who sets up, like, let's say they set up a recording area and they have their microphone, they have their keyboard, their desk, all set up. They're perfectly fine with how it is. Somebody with ADHD might look at that and be like, you know what? I'm not too happy with where that's sitting. I might move it over here or over to this corner or maybe move it to another area. And that's sort of that whole thing where your brain is wired differently to think. Because normal people who don't have that diagnosis or don't have like OCD or autism don't really think that way, because they're like, well, I'm fine with how this is, so I'm not really going to change it. But having sort of like that diagnosis kind of complicates your thoughts a little bit more, and it makes it so that things are a little bit tougher to do. Like somebody, specifically me, who has the diagnosis ADHD, I literally will forget tasks like really easily. And sometimes that can be a little bit irritating to the people around me because of the fact that I forget those tasks. It's like, hey, did you go and do this? It's like, no, I completely forgot. And some people will be like, oh, well, that's just an excuse. It's like, well, it's not. If you knew kind of how the person's brain functioned, then you would understand that. And it's one of the reasons that I keep judging myself so harshly whenever I create a video or I do this, for example. This is probably the seventh try that you're hearing, and that's the one that I decided to go with because I have a serious problem with trusting my gut and basically deciding, yes, this is how I want this episode to go. And the biggest thing about that is sometimes I go back and I delete stuff and then I re-upload it. It's like, I don't really like that clip, so I end up changing it up again. And then by the time I'm done, I screwed up something in the audio, and now I gotta go back. It's like, I gotta go record this again. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And the problem of also having anxiety mixed into that is that causes a lot of stress to your brain. It causes you to feel stressed out. I know back in middle school, I had really, really bad anxiety. And I, most of the time, would come home and just straight up go sleep because I didn't want to deal with any sort of thing happening. And it would cause my brain to literally just shut down. I've had 2 panic attacks in my life. I had one on my birthday, which was probably one of the worst possible things I ever felt. And I had a second one when stress from school and think about like job and that sort of thing started to get to me. And I literally just broke down. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And it really, really affects, like, I know I've said it a lot, but it really affects the way your mind thinks. And I wish I could get people to understand how my mind functions, but sometimes it's just hard to tell them because it honestly, I try to paraphrase it in a way, but it just doesn't come out right. And it's honestly one of the hardest things to explain because of the way that my brain works. And by far, the most irritating thing is when somebody says you're using your diagnosis as an excuse. It's like, excuse me, I didn't ask to be born with this, so get off my fucking back about it. And I'm just like, sometimes it's like people are rude about it. Like, I had somebody the other day I was talking to on Discord I was chatting with, and they were like, so apparently, and I did something. It's like, I think it was we were playing League of Legends, and all of a sudden I started to go away from the crystal that we were supposed to destroy. I was going back, and the person's like, what are you doing? It's like, oh, sorry, I completely forgot. It's like, you're just using that excuse. It's like, well, if you had ADHD, you would know how my brain functions. And he's like, whatever. And it's people like that who just piss me off because they don't understand at all. And I know I've just been rambling about this, but I just wanted to kind of get it off my back because talking about it is a lot easier. And I felt like on my podcast, I would be at least a safe space where I could do that. Ignore that my phone just went off. But yeah, that's going to about do it for this topic, and I'm going to shoot it over to the next one. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this topic here, and I'm going to shoot it over to the Zion that's going to end this episode. All right, see ya. And that is episode 4 in the bag. Thank you all for listening. I really, truly appreciate it. If this happens to be the first one that you've heard, consider listening to episode 1 through 3. That would mean a lot to me. Thank you all for watching, listening to episode 4 of the Arken Cast, and I will catch you all, not next week, but So February 12th, there will be a new episode of the Arken Cast out, episode 5. And if you want any sort of details on when those episodes will be coming out, just check my Instagram. I normally do updates on there. The name on there is TrevorLoose1123. And while you're at it, might as well check out my YouTube channel. I do a lot of really cool videos over there, and mean a lot if you guys would go check that out. I know the last topic of this podcast got a little bit in-depth and a little bit deep, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and yeah, stay tuned for February 12th, episode 5 of the Arken Cast, and we are out.